What would you build if tech wasn't a limitation anymore? A booking system? A CRM? A full app with payments? And what if you could get all of that in 15 minutes without touching a line of code? It sounds fake, right? Let me show you why it's not, and why every business owner needs to see this. Hey everyone, it's Jake Dawson, and if you're new here, I help business owners like you use AI without needing to become a tech genius. And today, we're looking at a tool that just flipped the script. Manus 1.5. It's not another shiny AI tool. It replaces weeks of development with a single prompt. You describe what you want, and it builds it. Bookings, payments, databases, dashboards, done. This isn't hype. It's one of those moments where you see the shift happening in real time. And in the next 10 minutes, you'll find out if it can actually deliver. Can it build real apps that accept payments and store customer data? Can it save you hours on research and presentations? Can it finally make your tools talk to each other? And most importantly, is it worth your money, or are the free tools enough? And honestly, if you're someone who loves this kind of stuff and you want help building it in your own business, that's exactly what we do inside my school community. It's super friendly, super hands-on, so check that out in the link in the description below. All right, let's talk about what makes Manus 1.5 different. Everything's faster, 4 times faster. And here's the cool part. Manus actually remembers your entire conversation now, so you're not repeating yourself every time you ask for something. It's like working with someone who actually listens and keeps track of what you're trying to do. Now, that might sound small, but when you're building something, it changes everything. And here's the first big update: building apps instead of just websites. Okay, how many of you are running this setup right now? Calendly for bookings, PayPal or Stripe for payments, Google Forms for intake questions, and then a website that doesn't connect to anything. And every time someone books, you're copying info between systems, sending emails manually, and hoping that nothing gets missed. That's the problem Manus 1.5 solves. And here's what it actually does. Manus 1.5 doesn't just build websites, it builds real business applications. And there's a big difference. Websites just sit there. Business applications do the work for you. And Manus lets you create one by describing it in normal English. You just need to type something like, I need a booking system where clients can schedule 30-minute consultations, pay $150 upfront, and automatically get added to my email list. Hit enter, and Manus gets to work. And let me show you what that means. Manus builds the booking page your clients see. It builds the payment flow. It creates the database that stores all of your customers' info. It sets up the automatic emails. It gives you an admin dashboard so you can manage everything from one place. If you've ever duct taped tools together and hoped that nothing breaks, this feels like moving from chaos to finally something that makes sense. Oh, and before you go live, Manus tests everything for you. It clicks through your booking flow like a real person would. It fills out forms. It tries to break things so you catch problems before your actual customers do. Now, setting up Stripe for this app is ridiculously easy. If you've ever set up Stripe manually, you know how it feels like Stripe is testing your patience, API keys, webhooks, testing, all of that. With Manus, the second you mention payments, it creates a Stripe sandbox for you automatically. No sign up, no setup. You can literally click checkout and test the whole flow with test cards right away. And when you're ready to go live, you click claim Stripe account, connect your real Stripe, finish verification, and everything transfers over. And here's a real example. A consultant named Amanda wanted to sell advisory calls and have an AI chatbot answer common questions. Normally, a developer would charge thousands of dollars and take weeks. She typed her idea into Manus, and 15 minutes later, she had a working platform with payments, a booking calendar, and an AI chatbot. But it's not just for consultants. Maybe you're launching a product and you want to collect feedback from users. Manus can build you a hub where people submit ideas, vote on their favorites, and you can see who your most engaged customers are. Or maybe you run events and you need a way to manage registrations, send QR codes for check-in, and track who actually shows up. Manus can build that entire system from one conversation. So, what does this mean for you? If you sell coaching, consulting, training, done-for-you services, anything where people book, pay, or interact with you, you can finally build a system that fits how you work instead of bending yourself around a bunch of different disconnected tools. And on top of that, the embedded AI capabilities let you spin up simple websites, process documents, analyze images, and generate content inside the same platform, which it keeps everything in one place. And look, it's not instant magic. For bigger projects, you're still going to need to tweak things. But compared to hiring a developer or learning a no-code tool for weeks, this is in a different universe. And here's the bonus. Manus includes things other platforms charge extra for. Built-in analytics so you can see what's working, automatic emails without needing another platform, custom domain setup that isn't confusing, version control so you can change something and break it, and you can undo it in one click. And if you're worried about trusting this with your customer data, a totally fair question, they've got a whole security page with all of their certifications and how they protect your info. I'll drop that in the link in the description. All right, let's get into the second update because this one fixes a pain point most business owners deal with all the time. Well, you know the drill. Jumping between tabs, Googling competitor prices, digging through websites, trying to piece everything together and ending up with a spreadsheet that you don't even really trust. And then you still have to make slides that look, well, let's just say they're not your best work. Manus's deep research capabilities changes how all of this works. Now, when you ask it to research something, it doesn't give you one of those vague AI summaries that sound smart but doesn't actually help. It goes out, it finds real companies, it pulls real details, checks the info, and organizes everything so that you can use it right away. For example, if you say, find my top competitors and break down their pricing, Manus doesn't guess. It builds a clean table with names, prices, positioning, and links to the sources. That's the kind of research that you'd normally pay someone to handle because it takes so much time. And if you've ever had to research a big list of leads or potential partners, you're going to love this next part. The wide research feature sends out multiple agents at once. So instead of you spending hours digging through 50 websites, Manus collects names, emails, services, and locations and drops everything into a spreadsheet in about 10 minutes. It feels unfair, but in the best way possible. Then there's the new presentation builder with Google's Nano Banana Pro model announced recently. When you turn your research into slides, Manus generates high-quality images that actually match your topic. No random stock photos anymore. And the text on the slide, it's clean and readable, which almost no other AI model gets right. The whole deck has one consistent style, so it looks intentionally designed instead of just thrown together. You pick a style, click generate, and Manus builds the full deck for you. For everyday business presentations, this saves a ton of time. Another thing that makes this feel different is the unlimited context feature. You can move from research to notes to slides without repeating yourself or starting over. Manus keeps the whole conversation in its head and follows along, almost like someone sitting next to you who actually remembers everything you said. All right, let's jump into the third update because this one solves a problem that everyday business owners secretly hate. Your info is scattered everywhere, right? Your CRM has customer details, Google Drive has your documents, Notion or Asana has your projects, Stripe has your sales, and your email, well, your email is like that drunk jar in your kitchen, right? Everything ends up there eventually. Trying to make all these tools work together is usually a nightmare. You either pay for Zapier or you hire someone who says, yeah, I can integrate that, and then they disappear for 2 weeks. Manus finally makes this simple. With the new connectors, it plugs straight into the tools you already use. CRM, Google Workspace, Notion, Slack, all of it can flow into one place. So instead of you copying info from one tool to another, like a human USB stick, you can just say something like, pull my top 20 customers from my CRM and write follow-up emails based on what they're doing. Manus grabs that data, it understands it, and it does the whole job in one step. It's kind of like having all of your apps finally sit at the same table and talk to each other like adults. And then there's Mail Manus. If you've ever opened a giant email thread and thought, nope, not today, this feature is for you. Mail Manus reads the whole thing, it figures out what's actually going on, and it gives you a clean summary. It can even write a reply that hits all of the important points. No more scrolling up and down and hoping that you didn't miss that one message that changes the entire conversation. This can easily save you half an hour a day, especially if your clients love sending novels. And if you have a team, this update is a game changer. Manus lets everyone share files, work in the same conversation, or share the whole workspace. Imagine your team building a proposal. One person does the research, someone else works on the slides, another person writes the copy, and no one's asking, wait, which version are we on? Because everything's in one place. It feels way more like a team working together instead of 5 people building 5 different versions of the same thing. Now, let's talk about the costs. Manus uses a credit system based on how big the task is. Simple tasks might cost 100 to 300 credits. More complex projects can take 1,000 to 3,000 credits. The free tier gives you enough to test things out, but if you're building something big, you'll go through those credits pretty fast. The real question is, does it save you time and stress? If you're currently paying people to clean up data, juggling a bunch of tools, or spending hours doing repetitive work yourself, the credits start feeling worth it. But if you're solo and just doing small tasks, free tools still get the job done. So let's wrap this up with a real honest look at who Manus 1.5 is actually made for. Because tools like this are not one size fit all, even though the internet loves pretending that they are. If you're someone who needs real systems in your business, booking systems, CRMs, client portals, but you don't want to spend thousands hiring developers, Manus is built for you. If you create content for clients and you need research that doesn't require 10 cups of coffee and 3 open spreadsheets, this is for you. And if you're tired of duct taping tools together and hoping that they behave, you'll probably feel a huge sigh of relief using this thing. Basically, if you value your time more than squeezing every dollar out of your software budget, Manus is going to feel like a win. But if all you need is a super simple website, something basic with a few pages, Manus can handle that with the free credits. You don't need anything fancy for that. Also, if you're working solo and your tasks are pretty light, free tools may still cover most of what you need day to day. Now, I'll say if you're the kind of person who wants everything perfect on the first try, or you expect platforms to run like a spaceship 24/7, you might hit a few bumps. It's powerful, but like any growing tool, there are moments where the server decides to take a quick coffee break. Here's my take. Manus 1.5 isn't magic. It's not going to read your mind or handle your whole business on autopilot, but it is a tool that can do in minutes what used to take weeks, if you guide it the right way. You still need to explain to it what you want, you still need to tweak things, but once you get the hang of it, the speed difference is wild. And the real shift here is simple. You don't need to become a programmer anymore. You just need to explain the problem that you want solved and who you're solving it for. All right, before we wrap up, drop me a comment and tell me this. What's one manual task in your business that you'd love to automate? I'm always looking for real examples, and I might feature yours in a future video. Also, if this helped you out, make sure you subscribe for more honest breakdowns of AI tools. You know, there's no hype here, just what actually works and what doesn't. Okay, that's it for the day. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I'll see you in the next one, or you could click on this video right here.